Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Hustling Muscle Show, and I am going to be joined by Dr. Mukherjee today evening, and we're going to be talking about hereditary diseases and fitness. Let's see what she has for us today. Let me see if I can search for her and connect with her. Let's not waste any time. Okay, I don't see her yet. She should be coming in any moment. I hope everybody is doing well. My guest is taking a little time, so let's just wait. And meanwhile, if you guys have any suggestions, any topics you want us to talk on, please do tell us. I would be more than happy. We're getting suggestions and we're talking on them. So if there's anything more, please do tell me. And I think Dr. Mukherjee should be joining us. I still don't see her. We have a few things planned out for the Women's Day also coming up next month. And I see Dr. Mukherjee there. Let me wave quickly and add her. Yes, I send out Dr. Mukherjee should be joining us now. And we talk about hereditary diseases and fitness. Let's see the connection. Let's see what Dr. Mukherjee is going to help us today with. Dr. Mukherjee, a very good evening. Welcome
Hi,
to the
good
Hustling
evening,
Muscle
Pratik.
Show. And I can see you're wearing a lovely pink. That's a pink, right? Last time.
Yes, yes, it
Okay.
is.
I got the color right, guys. Okay. So we have, as I like to call her, the pain whisperer, the knowledge of ocean, the ocean of knowledge. She's going to be sharing, things with us. And today we are talking about hereditary diseases and fitness. Tomorrow we're going to be doing hereditary diseases and nutrition with Gauri Shingote. But today is on fitness with Dr. Mukherjee. So Dr. Mukherjee, without wasting any time, let's shoot to the very first question. Hereditary diseases. I'm sure you're going to explain that before we start. Can exercise lower, the disease risk even when your genes are working against you? Can working out help us reduce the chances of hereditary diseases?
Yeah, am I audible?
Yes, you're very audible. You're very much
Yeah.
audible, Dr. Mukherjee.
Okay. So hereditary diseases are basically the diseases which are inherited from our ancestors, okay, or from our immediate family. Okay. So what happens is in this particular thing, there are many types of hereditary disease. Okay. The first one being chromosomal abnormalities. Okay, chromosomal abnormalities like trisomy of, chromosome 21 leads to Down syndromes. We have all seen people who have Down syndromes. Now, these are things which are inevitable. They are there from birth. And there's not much we can do to change it, but we can always exercise or do physical activity to improve it. The second is the single gene which is inherited. Single gene conditions like thalassemia, there are thalassemia majors, there are thalassemia minors, okay? So these single gene things which are inherited, usually they also lead to hereditary diseases, okay? The third and the one that we are concerned about is multifactorial diseases, okay? So multifactorial inheritance is basically we carry a risk of a certain thing, but it can get aggravated if the environment also supports it. Okay, so what happens in this particular thing is that for example, you have diabetes, you have gene carrying like, cancer, you might have the chance of getting cancer, okay? Or you might have a chance of getting obesity. You might have a chance of getting heart disease, okay? So you carry the risk of having that gene, okay? But environmental factors will also affect it, okay? So here, exercise, diet, a proper lifestyle plays a huge role, a huge impact. So answering your question when you said that can this be, reduced, or can the intensity of this be reduced? Can it be managed with a good lifestyle and good exercise habits? Of course it can. Okay. And the last one of the hereditary diseases being mitochondrial diseases. Okay. So these lead to things like epilepsy and seizure disorders. Again, it is not there throughout your life. You have certain episodes, so they can also be managed. So hereditary diseases are of four kinds. Okay. And the one that we deal with the most, the chronic diseases, is only one of them, which is multifactorial. Okay. And what happens is if we are following a proper exercise and diet regime, then definitely we will be able to reduce whatever risk we had inbuilt of getting that particular condition.
Well, that's very well explained by you, Dr. Mukherjee, because I think a lot of people keep having this in mind because, you always have that fear that, oh God, I have this hereditary diseases running in my family. Am I going to get it? Am I not going to get it? So, this information helps the viewers a lot. Now, moving on to the next question. Can hereditary issues affect our physical fitness? And how does genetics affect our physical activity?
Okay, so hereditary can affect our physical fitness. There is, in fact, a study which is done around this to see whether physical inactivity is heritable. Okay, so there were multiple trials of the same study which was done, which found that 16 to 24% the inactivity is heritable. Okay, that means that if our parents or our ancestors have been inactive, we will not be very inclined towards exercises. But here comes the good news, okay, even though there is one study for this, what we found that from 2010 onwards till about 2017, there have been 3-4 very major studies which have been done. There was one study done by Stanford University. This was done on a population of 500,000 people. Okay. Then there was another study done in Norway, which was done on 67,000 people. Okay. And a similar study which was done on BMI. So all of these studies were actually checking that if a person has a genetic predisposition to a higher BMI or to cardiac conditions, are they going to improve with exercise? So what all of these researchers found in common is that exercise actually helped people not get cardiac conditions or not have obesity, not suffer with obesity, and not have, diabetes or any of the chronic conditions that they are suffering from if they include the exercises. Okay, so just including exercises, whether you have a genetic predisposition or not, okay, it is going to work for you. So that is why they had done this huge study, and I was like really glad when I came across this study, because usually I have a lot of clients, I have a lot of friends who blame genetics, who say that no, they are not able to do so well because it's not in their genes. And I want to tell them that there's no point in being so feeling that you cannot do anything about your risk of developing diabetes. Of course you can. If you start working hard enough, you get somebody trained, you will definitely be able to see the improvement.
Well, when Dr. Mukherjee says good news, you can see the energy and the vibes she brings on, you can see it. That's what I say, such information is so useful for the viewers who are watching it, and with the energy you're giving it, it really reaches them. So sticking on with the same energy level, let's move to the next question, Dr. Mukherjee. Some common hereditary diseases: diabetes, arthritis, obesity. Let's just explain about these three. Let's just take these three. Let's explain to the viewers from a fitness point of view how fitness can help.
Okay, so first I would like to tell people that fitness is not just one thing. Okay, so people think that, okay, if you're running, you can run, you are fit. Or if you're able to do a deadlift of 200 kgs, you're fit. But fitness has so many things. So there is resistance training, there is endurance training, there is flexibility training, there is agility training, explosive strength, balance, coordination. So many things are part of fitness training. So let us talk about each part and how it helps. So resistance training, it really helps in building up your muscle, building up your bone mineral density, improve your body composition. Okay, it makes your arteries and veins, your blood vessels, more compliant, more efficient. Okay, it makes your heart muscles more efficient. Obviously, heart is also a muscle, okay, which is pumping blood. So the cardiac output improves, your lung capacity improves. Okay, the amount of air you can take in and breathe and actually function with. Okay, that improves. So all of these things improve with resistance training. Okay, and with aerobic training, that is endurance training, running, jumping, going forward with playing a sport for many hours together. So endurance training actually leads to an even better improvement in this. Okay, so what endurance training does is it actually improves your immune system. Okay, it actually improves your mitochondria in the cell. So mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. That is what gives it power or gives it food. So if you have more mitochondria, you will have more energy or power in each cell, definitely giving you more energy in return. Okay, it also goes forward with greater cardiac output. It also goes forward with increase of oxidative enzymes. Okay, so there are innumerable changes that can happen if you're going forward with a regular resistance training program and a regular aerobic program. Okay, if I start listing the benefits of exercise, we could be here all day, because it's like listing the benefits of food, oh, proteins help you with this, it helps you with that. So we could literally be here all day, and we would still not be done with listing the benefits of exercise. So our body is like a big machine which runs on food and exercise. One is literally like the petrol, and the other is like literally running the machine. So we need both of them. And when both are controlled, any chronic disease, chronic diseases are the biggest killers. Every year, there are 2 million people who die in this world. 2 million people. We are worried about the small numbers of people dying. 2 million people die because of inactivity. That is how bad the obesity pandemic is. Okay, it's called an obesity endemic, I think. And that's how bad it is, that inactivity is leading to most of the chronic disease. And these two things, exercises and the right diet, can really help with that.
You know, firstly, when you said, we could spend the whole day, I'm sure the viewers would love to see you talk, and let it be 24 hours or 48 hours. I'm sure the viewers will stick and listen to you. So answering that. And then as you said about the information, as you always say, movement is medicine. So I think that is something that fits in here. You're becoming like the brand ambassador for this particular quote, because I know you say this a lot. But yes, it is pretty much true. You're being the role model for that. Movement is medicine. I have seen that. And I can see somebody has also agreed. True. So it's not me alone. You have the viewers supporting you, Dr. Mukherjee. Now, Dr. Mukherjee, on the same note, when we move forward, okay, fitness assessment, something Dr. Mukherjee is very particular about. I know that. Any person who goes for a workout or anything, she will assess her fitness. She's done this with me a million times, okay? And it is something that really helps you. Now, how important, when you assess a person's body, to design a workout, how important is family history? Okay, how is genetic information used to treat diseases?
Okay. Genetic information, or definitely a background, a family history, is very important. Usually it is left out when most of the doctors go forward with checking the client. Every day I see so many of the clients, come up to me and they were like, they had a pain and they were directly told to get an X-ray or an MRI. A history was not taken. A verbal history, when properly taken, can take anywhere between 15 minutes to half an hour, because we ask about many things. Your occupational history and, what kind of work you do, where do you stay, your environmental history, your work history, everything. And along with your medical history comes your family history also. Family histories are very important because we need to find out red flags. Guys, red flags are where we do not give any exercises. So something is either something is absolutely contraindicated in certain conditions, and exercises can be relatively contraindicated in certain conditions. How do we get to know that? Absolute contraindications will be if the person has a bleeding disorder. Okay, they are not able to heal correctly, or they have a seizure disorder, or they are going forward with any kind of exercises which can aggravate their genetic condition. Then we will definitely be designing an exercise. It doesn't mean that they are not physically active. We need to design an exercise program according to that. Relative contraindications will be people who are suffering with probably a heart condition, or they have recently had a heart surgery, or, like a stroke, and post a traumatic brain injury, they are starting off with exercise and they are prone to seizures, or they have their own difficulties. They might be having a high chance of developing diabetes, or they might already be borderline diabetes. So I'm giving you an example. I would usually send a person that I would suspect that, yes, he has a family history of diabetes. So I should be checking his HbA1c level to see whether he has diabetes currently? Does he have a higher level of this leading to a higher risk later on? And then according to that, give him those specific exercises. Okay. Now, it's not just important to rule out red flags when giving exercises. It is also important that we are able to measure whatever we are measuring in that person. For a diabetic patient, it could HbA1c. Blood pressure patient, it could be like regular BP or systolic, diastolic pressure, and then following it up. I mean, the number of people that I have met, people who have exercises with me and even otherwise, with strength training, with aerobic training, people who have gone off medication, they are not on insulin anymore. They are not on diabetic medications anymore. They are not on BP medications anymore. Even women who have gone off PCOS, the great change that I have seen. These markers, they help us understand the baseline and understand that what was the end result of doing the exercise, because all fitness is done towards a goal, right? So you cannot understand whether you have met your goal or not if you have not assessed in the beginning and you do not know where you started from. So understanding red flags, okay, making sure that it's safe and risk-free for the client to exercise and slowly increasing or progressing the exercises according to that. And the third is checking in the end whether these exercises were actually fruitful and how to be able to modify them. So checking their improvement. I think assessment is required for all of these three things.
Well, that's very well said. I think there's a lot of information out there. And people who have had this query about hereditary diseases and fitness, you have a lot of answers, a lot of solutions here. If you still have queries, you can still DM us. We are always there to help. DM me, DM Dr. Mukherjee. Now, Dr. Mukherjee, let's move on to the pretty much of, my last question to you. How important are genes when it comes to strength? Okay, why I ask this is I look at so many people, coming with this assumption when whether they look at, I'm not going to take names, but then they look at a particular physique. He has that physique because his genes are very good. Then when I go back and look at his father or his forefathers, I'm like, okay, they never look like that, but he looks like this. So I ask this question: how important are genes when it comes to strength and fitness, endurance, etc.? Explain the impact of genes on our fitness.
Okay, so let me first tell that all humans have, almost 99% matching genetic coding. Okay, there is only that 1% mutations where it happens where we have 8 billion different people. Some of us are identical twins, yes, but then again, they don't end up becoming the same. I think that's a great example that identical twins, given different kind of exercises, don't actually end up looking the same. That's a brilliant example I think I can give for, people not like genes are not everything. Then out of that 1% of mutations, there is only 30 to 80% which is inheritable. I'm saying it's 30 to 80. That's the wide variation. I mean, it could be 30% of 1%. That is how inheritable the genes are. So what are the genes that go forward with a mutation? Okay, so number one is myostatin gene, which goes with a mutation and that leads to muscle weakness or muscle wasting. It's mostly seen in neurological conditions. I have personally taken care of a lot of children who were suffering with muscular dystrophy. And I have seen the muscle wasting, and usually in them there is a lot of fatigue that sets in. They are unable to exercise very comfortably, but physical activity is still required to have a great quality of life. Okay. Number two is the insulin growth factor 1. Insulin growth factor 1 is the most popular, or I think the most well-known gene mutation, because it leads to general growth and development of the muscles, okay, and great strength development. We have another gene like this, the mutation of that IGF2 leads to great power. Okay, power is being able to lift a huge quantity in a very short time, like powerlifting. Strength is about doing a certain amount of activity for a duration of time. Okay, so endurance is like doing very minimal activity, but for a long period of time, like going forward with a marathon running. So I just wanted people to have an idea about, what is strength and what is endurance. And there is a different gene mutation which works for this. Okay, so what happens is there's another gene called actin, ACTN3. ACTN3 It goes forward when with a mutation, it helps in increasing the fast twitch fibers in women. In men, it has not been found, there hasn't been found any significant difference, but in women, it actually improves the fast twitch fibers, okay, so that they have more power, more strength. We require fast twitch fibers more when we are doing short, isolated exercises. Okay, short twitch are basically like our biceps muscle moving fast over a period of time, lifting a weight. So those are our fast twitch fibers working. Postural muscles like standing for long duration or sitting for long duration, those are slow twitch. So actin gene mutation actually showed a difference in fast twitch. Then we have recently discovered a endurance gene mutation. Okay, that is called as CMAH gene. Okay, so this was discovered about like it was there and it actually, the mutation happened 2 to 3 million years ago, is what the scientists say. Okay, so that led to man being able to run for longer distance, and there is a constant mutation happening. So you see that there is a marathon record being made, and then the record being broken. So there are constant gene mutations which are happening, but definitely training plays a huge role. Just having the gene to be brilliant, in sports, like having a higher IGF-1 factor working on your favor, in your favor, that's not going to help at all. You need to have the right kind of training to supplement it. Because the best athletes are only the one who are training and reaching there, not the one who are just sitting at their homes, right? And I think that the best example that I would like to give here to a lot of people who usually blame genes is look at the para athletes. Okay, I am not
True.
an athlete. Okay, but look at the people who are not even having that advantage, and they are actually competing in, like competitive sports. They have that, they know that they are not even like somebody else, like who are completely normal, and they are not blaming their, they're not sitting and blaming their genes. Okay,
They're
they're
finding
actually telling,
solutions.
and exactly, they're finding solutions. They are not giving excuses. And this year, in the
Paralympics.
Paralympics, like, yeah, the India was just shining through Paralympics, which
Absolutely.
shows that it is so important. Just training your body, treating it right is important. It's not important what you're born with. Again, we come to the nature versus nurture debate, but I feel that nurture plays a huge role in making you what you are, and not just your genes. Okay, so I've seen people have a great quality of life and not worry about this. So I think what I would like to say is, pain is inevitable. There are always going to be risks. We give exercises on a risk to reward ratio. Okay, there is going to be a little pain, there is going to be a little stiffness, tightness, or anything. But suffering is really, optional. So you can have pain, but your outlook towards it has to change. Okay, if you're suffering, if you're sitting at your homes and you're telling that, no, I have diabetes and I'm just going to be suffering with diabetes throughout, that is suffering, and suffering is optional. Okay, you can always get up from your couch and actually, go and take an action to stop diabetes from actually manifesting in your body, even though you have a high risk. And trust me, all the studies are going to be supporting you, because each study that has been done says that if you're exercising, you're maintaining your body weight within the normal, you are healthy, you are eating right, you will actually be able to beat genetics.
Well, that's very
So,
well said. That's, I think you've given a very good punchline today. So, as you said about the Paralympics, they made us proud and everything. The only thing I can add there is, excuses are not going to take us anywhere in life. So that's pretty much, well said by you, Dr. Mukherjee. My punchline is more of a punch story, more of a punch message for people out there today. Guys, I know a lot of us, I'm one of them who's been doing that, give a lot of blame and excuses to our genes. I was on the heavy side. I was in a obese case. I kept saying, it runs in the family. My family is heavy. Look at everybody. I kept telling everybody, no, it's not my fault. My entire family is heavy. It's the genes. But look at me today. It changed. It is basically you have to stop giving excuses, stop convincing yourself you can't go forward. You put yourself down. The minute you accept you have to change, you have to move forward, anything is possible. Yes, you need the right help. You need professionals like Dr. Mukherjee, Gauri Shingote, all of them, and they're very much there at your disposal. But what I'm trying to say is stop giving excuses. Stop blaming it on your genes. It is not about your genes. So stop blaming it on them. That's my punch message or my punchline, but it's a punch message for today. So that's out there for the audience today. And I think moreover, Dr. Mukherjee has given a lot of knowledge to all of us today. She's spoken
Thank
quite a
you.
bit and we're taking in quite a bit from her today. So I think Dr. Mukherjee, we've given a lot of information. You've given your punchline, I've given my punchline. And guys, I had made a mistake. I think I'm joining with Gauri on Friday, not tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm with Dr. Parekh with Mind and Fitness, so you guys can tune in for that. So Dr. Mukherjee, I thank you. I thank you for joining into the Hustling Muscle Show. Thank you for the
Thank you.
knowledge that you've shared. Guys, if you have any requests, any queries, do let us know. You have any suggestions, any topics you want us to talk on, please do DM us. We take them forward like we do the so many ones that we are getting. And also do follow Dr. Mukherjee, do follow me. We keep putting up updates, small knickknacks. Dr. Mukherjee keeps putting up a lot of reels, a lot of information on fitness. You can follow her, you get to learn more. Well, I try to keep up with them, but I try to put out some content from my end. So, anyways, I hope you guys have enjoyed the show. If you guys have enjoyed the show, do like it, do share it with your friends, do let us know your feedback. Guys, thank you so much. Dr. Mukherjee, I thank you again for joining us for the show, and I will see you next week again with
Thank you.
another amazing topic. Guys, thank you for tuning
Thank you.
into the Hustling Muscle Show. Thank you, Dr. Mukherjee. Have a great evening ahead.
Have a great evening.
Thank
Bye.
you.